That better, guys? We good now? Anybody from chat fill me in? All right, cool. All right, awesome. All right, my bad, guys. So what I was saying was, welcome. Thank you all for tuning in. Today I'm going to be going over all the books from March 1st, 2023's New Comic Book Day. Usually what I do, obviously I make a long form video for you guys. I go over my top 10 list. And I figured, the live stream's been awesome. I've been having a lot of fun talking about these books with you guys. And I figured, let's go live. Let's talk about them with you. I hope you guys were able to grab everything. I only grabbed 10 issues this week. It definitely was a little bit lighter of a week. Everybody that's in the house right now, what's going on? We got Jeezy, Creasy right now, Joseph L, Mr. Negative, Inferno Storm, Second Street, Marvel, William, Spitzkoff, Metz, Canadian. If I missed anybody else, I apologize, but what's going on? Second Street, it's one of those things. I'm still learning. I started using Streamlabs. And it's still all new to me. It's almost as if every single stream has had one issue. But I think everything should be good to go now. And yeah, it is what it is. But what are some of the books you guys picked up this week? I'd say overall is really solid. I ended up grabbing books from a lot of different publishers today. We're going to be talking about books. We got books today from... we got Marvel. Marvel had a lot of new ones this week, actually. Hugh, what's going on? SMK, what's going on? Mark McGrath. The Box Outside, what's going on, everybody? AWA had a brand new one. Dark Horse, Image had F This Place. That series is finally back. They got a brand new one with Phantom Road, written by Jeff Lemire. I was able to grab Sumerian Comics, the Rock and Roll Hell as well. There's a lot of really good books. Didn't like Venom. Oh my god. Yeah, I know. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to kick this list off, and we're going to jump right in these books. So the first one I'm going to be going over today is, there we go. I got Venom for you guys. Mr. Negative just got done saying I didn't like Venom, and lo and behold, I didn't like Venom either. I thought it was god-awful terrible, like I always do, and I feel bad talking about it, because Venom is, I'd put him up there with one of my favorite characters, definitely one of my favorite anti-heroes, because I love Spider-Man. I love everything that has to deal with that type of just, everything in just ASM. I love it. Donny Cates' Venom run was awesome as well. And this is just, oh my god, what's going on with this series? It has just been 17 issues deep. I can't recall, honestly, anything that's been going on in this series. It's been fucking terrible, in my opinion. Let's see. Joseph L, I feel like a reread. A couple already, Deja Vu. Dude, it's just been so bad. William says, I was on Hate Us with Comics for a long time, but I saw your video. Oh, man, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I've only liked when Rom V's written the issues with Dylan Brock. It's just gotten worse over the last few. So, yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it. I don't think this series has benefited, at all from having two writers on it. I don't know if Rom V is actually still on it anymore, unless if it's just Ewing. I don't recall from the other issues because as you can tell, let's see, right there, how it just has Ewing. I don't remember if they always had V and Ewing on there, depending on who was writing it, or just one or the other. But I don't know if Rom V's still on it. I could be wrong. Adam, what's going on, man? Oh, dude, Spitzkoff says Venom, one of my favorite characters. So sad that it's this bad at the moment. It's very true. I mean, even the artwork, I can't get over this art. These pages don't look that bad, but I feel like once we get more into it, it just looks very I don't know how to describe it, maybe pudgy. There's not a lot of details. It's just, it kind of is what it is. Very kind of, I don't know, doughy, I guess. But we did get Darkoth in this one, and in the very beginning of this issue, they're called Techno Demons, and that's what Bedlam is fighting. This issue pretty much primarily just focuses on Bedlam. And if you don't remember who Bedlam is the other kind of symbiote that was created from Eddie Brock, but it's all of his anger. I don't know. It's just really bad. I can't get over how much I don't like this series. I know I should probably just drop it. I've talked about dropping it so many times now, but I keep telling myself, just ride it out. You love Venom. You love the last series, and this is kind of a continuation off of Donny Cates' stuff, and it's really just not doing it for me. Slightly chungus Venom. Greetings from England. What's going on, Craig? Love your videos. Keep up the good work. Phantom Road was my favorite this week. I'm excited to talk about Phantom Road with you guys, too, because I love Jeff Lemire. I did like the new artist a lot. So that's what I will say. That's why I was saying, like, this art, this is a bad description of, like, me saying I'm not a big fan of the art for this series. I don't have one of the prior issues floating around, but this art does look a lot better. The other art for the first, I don't know, however many issues, 16, I guess, it did not do it for me at all. This issue did have a ton of action in it, though. I thought the action was really cool. I think they did a great job with that, but it's at that same rate, it's still kind of one of those, I don't exactly care about what's going on. They've been so back and forth between Eddie and Dylan at this moment. It's just not doing it for me. Alec, my friend, how are you doing? John, what's going on, buddy? I hope you're doing well today, man. And I'm not going to spoil the ending. I'm not going to be getting really in depth with it. I just kind of want to do a brief overview of this issue. I'm based on the comments, based on chat. A lot of guys were saying too, this issue the series really isn't doing it for them either. I don't know how long they're trying to, go with this series. I think it's still just like, an ongoing for however long, but man, as much as I talk about Donny Cates every once in a while, I really wish they would have let him continue on with that Venom series. I wish they wouldn't have moved on to just this hot garbage that's constantly thrown in front of us. I don't know. But this one is definitely coming in at number 10 this week, wherever Venom may be. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to get it all fixed up. Yeah, that one no doubt is coming in at number 10 for me. Can I ask if you deliberately change your color lights for each comic in your top 10? I actually do change it. I usually change it based on kind of like, I don't know. For example, if like this Venom red or Bedlam red, I'd probably put it as red, but catching up on ASM right now, that artwork is like a Renaissance painting compared to Romita Jr. Oh my God, dude. The ASM, I couldn't even get through ASM. The story itself, I don't remember what they were even... Here, let me put this. I don't even remember what they were going on and talking about in that series, but let me tell you, that was god-awful to look at. That is just horrendous. And I've had a lot of people call me out, and they're just like, dude, you really can't talk shit on John Romita Jr.'s artwork. He's a legend. I don't care. I'm sorry. That artwork does not do it for me at all. I do not think it's visually appeasing, and it's just not for me. But that one's coming in at number 10. I'm going to be talking bad about a couple of these books right here, but they do get really good. The next one I want to talk about, I honestly had a hard time picking between who was going to get 9 and number 10. Both of these books were pretty god-awful. Cosmic Ghost Rider, issue number 1. I told myself when we were doing the live stream on Tuesday that I wasn't going to get this. I really didn't want to pick this up, especially because, let's see if they bring it up in the very front. They don't, but this series, or this issue, is 2 different stories in it. And I think they're going to be continuing on this series with 2 different stories. The first one, it's kind of a focus on a much older Frank Castle. Well, if you didn't already know, Cosmic Ghost Rider's Frank Castle. He's Frank Castle. It focuses on a much older version of him, and he's kind of, I don't want to call him retired, but he's basically given up that life of the Cosmic Ghost Rider. He is living just as a recluse in this just random planet. Nobody knows who he is. He's just trying to live out his days, stay away from everybody. Some action happens from there. It is what it is. The cartoon cover. Yeah, I really didn't think the cover was that nice either. Ouroboros, what's going on, buddy? I think this was the only cover that they had left. My shop didn't really order many copies of this Cosmic Ghost Rider. So at first I was like, sweet, I'm able to grab it. And then after I picked it up and read it, I was like, ooh, kind of wish I wouldn't have. But that was the first story. The first story, in my opinion, was better than the second one. But to be clear, I really didn't think either of them were that good. So, like I said, he's kind of just, oh my God, who saw this? Star Wars Ewoks. We were just talking about how there's just this massive amount of Star Wars on the market right now. And we got an Ewok story coming now, too. I don't know. Definitely Alyssa Wong, Lee Garbett, Casper Wingard. Not reading that one. I told you reviews. Yeah, Roland, we were looking at that, and I was like, man, that's so disappointing. But then I didn't. I just wanted to grab it anyway. I got the omnibus for it, and I figured, I'm just gonna grab it. We're gonna see how it goes. I think this issue. I think if they would have continued on with the first story and not make it into two separate stories or vice versa, like they just did one, they were both interesting. I will say that much. Because with this one, like I was saying, he's just living out his days. Nobody knows who he is. But then we've got this guy coming up. Whoever he is looking for Frank Castle. He says, I know he's the Cosmic Ghost Rider. You guys don't know who the hell he is, but I need to bring him down. He needs to be brought to justice. And that was kind of an interesting aspect to the issue, but at the same time, there's not much of a development. Everything's still kind of a mystery, so that part of the story was pretty rough. Craig Walker says, have I read every omnibus you have? I've got 5 and I haven't finished them. Cosmic Ghost Rider sucked. So what I will say about that is I haven't read every omnibus. If it's an indie title, I've read probably all of them. Not every single one. Like Saga, I'm still sitting on that. But the indies, I have read almost all of them. The Marvel ones, I usually buy for my collection. I haven't read all of them completely. But if it's, say, for example, like Planet Hulk or The What If, like if it's an actual story or an actual event, then I have read it. But if it's like ASM Volume 1 through 35 or whatever, I've read issues here and there, but I haven't read all of them. So for the most part, I really have read almost everything on there. Like for Ninja Turtles, for example, I haven't read any of that. I really like to wait until the entire series is done before I dive into it, because I kind of hate coming back to it. Let's see. I love Star Wars, but don't read the comic books. Am I the only one that's not a Star Wars fan? John, I'm not a big Star Wars fan myself. It's not that I don't like it. I guess I just don't particularly care about it. Oh, D-Mets, man, I appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying the content, man. I hope you guys are enjoying the streams as well. I hope it's not too much of a disappointment that you're not getting the usual just long form video. This is more personable. It's more of me being able to just communicate with the community. This is what I love doing. So I'm probably going to continue doing these videos like this. The Sunday previews video is still going to happen, the stream as well, but I just love talking comics with you guys. I really do. WrestleMania, Star Wars titles, and Daredevil are the only Marvel books I read right now. You'd think that based on that, it doesn't really sound like you're reading a lot, but I mean, the Star Wars titles, there's a lot of Star Wars on the market right now. Not John, I don't care about Star Wars. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm happy you love the games. Happy for you, bro. I think I missed something from JW. Oh, there's JW. Dude, there are really good Star Wars games. I will say that. I grew up playing a lot of them. I think it was PS2, PS1, PS2. There's a few of those. But let's move on real quick. So this is the second one. So the first one, he's more of just, like I said, just living out his days. He's retired. He doesn't want to be the Cosmic Ghost Rider anymore. Now, in this second story, he is more of a badass. He's more just wreaking havoc on the universe, and he's out just being kind of that crazy Cosmic Ghost Rider that we know that he is from all of the other series. But, oh yeah, another Star Wars too, Jabba's Palace. There's so much fucking Star Wars. But that's kind of what this one was. There's not a whole lot going on in this one either. It starts off with a flashback and then just a little bit of action. And as you can tell, I mean, I'm flipping 2 pages here, and it's the end. So nothing really is going on in this one either. I think the reviews were extremely spot on. I think this was an absolute stinker. And that's why I said I had a hard time picking who was going to get 9 and who was going to get number 10. This was a first issue, and it was a disappointment of itself. But I put this one in at number 9 because the stories, while they were short, while they probably shouldn't have had 2, the covers are rough, the artwork is okay, they had an interesting concept to them. While Venom, issue number 17, that was just a straight-up god-awful story that I just can't back up. There's nothing positive I can say about that one. So for those reasons, 100% coming in at number 9. Let's see. A hero that don't want to be a hero anymore. Very original. Half of those pages are better than the cover. That's the other crazy thing. Look at this. That's the other thing, guys. How, if this was a variant, whatever, but a regular cover A, it's not even that. It's not even that the art is bad. It looks so I don't even know the right word to describe it. It looks so like kind of faded, I guess. Like it's all blending together. There's no detail. There's nothing that really stands out, but at the same time, it looks like there's supposed to be detail on it. The best way I can describe this cover, it kind of looks like I don't want to say Halo 1 because I love Halo 1, but it kind of looks like if you turn on the original Xbox Halo 1, not the Master Chief like redone edition, but how everything just kind of is flat. There's no texture, there's no detail. But they try to have some detail, like the grass and everything, but there just isn't. That's exactly what this reminds me of. Something that came out in the early 2000s. Robotic, I guess, yeah, it's just super meh. He threw it in the trash. There is a trash can next to me, though, but it didn't go in the trash just yet. Let's see. I remember sitting in the theater about an hour and a half into Return of the Jedi and turned to my cousin and asked, when are they going to cash? He whispered back, nope, they aren't doing that. Is Return of the Jedi the last one? Like 10 or 9 or whatever the hell number they were on? But good lord, that was a horrible one too. The next one we're going to be talking about is IDW's Breath of Shadows, issue number 2. This one's cover A. So far I've had cover A for all of the books. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I apologize. I really hyped up that first issue. I thought it was really good and it seemed really unique. And the artwork itself, I like the artwork too. It's kind of dark. It's a little bit more grittier. And it goes with the story that they're trying to tell. But I felt as though this second issue was I thought it was pretty bad. And to me, it didn't really feel anything like that first issue. Let's check out some of these comments. The head of Ghost Rider is really bothering me. Yeah, it looks pretty bad. It does. Like it's too small for his body. It's a poorly drawn cover in my opinion. I'm not saying I could do better because I definitely could not do better, but it's not that good. You know, I love the Punisher, how my nickname is Castle, but I have not read a lick of the Cosmic Punisher. Should I? So I'm going to be honest with you, John. If you can get your hands on the Cosmic Ghost Rider Omnibus, actually, no. Hold on, let's see what's in it. Let's see what's in this for you folks. Let's talk about this one first. So that's the Cosmic Ghost Rider Omnibus. All right, so I just wanted to make sure it had the Donny Cates stuff in here. This is some of the best Donny Cates stuff that I've read in a very long time. I know it's a little zoomed in. I wasn't expecting to do an omnibus. But we've got in this one Thanos 13 through 18. Oh, so it's just 13 through 18. That's a shame. And then Cosmic Ghost Rider 1 through 5. Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys Marvel History. I think this is a really good omnibus. If you want to get into the Cosmic Ghost Rider, in my opinion. I mean, the artwork is really good too. That's like pop art, so that's kind of a bad example. But all the shit in the Donny Cates series, I think, is literally fantastic. Great read, great stuff. I really highly recommend checking this out because the Cosmic Ghost Rider is really cool. But I suggest reading the entire Thanos run, not just the stuff that entails the Cosmic Ghost Rider. I would definitely check out everything from Donny Cates. But then, what were we just talking about? I think that's probably his best stuff because I think he had like a random volume 1 and a volume 2 for Cosmic Ghost Rider. They weren't bad by any means. They were, I'd put them, you know, they're better than okay. If they came out nowadays, they'd be way better than a lot of the stuff Marvel puts out on the market, in my opinion. But in general, it's still just okay. The Donny Cates stuff with Cosmic Ghost Rider is definitely the best. Let's see, Breath of Shadows 2 wasn't as good as the first issue, 100%. I stay away from IDW unless if it's a Scott Snyder book. He's releasing with them. The original Ghost Rider was good. So the thing with Breath of Shadows, or actually for IDW, let's do Ryan first. IDW, I'm also reading, it's like that ghost ship, Dead Seas. Dead Seas is a really cool series. I will admit, I don't read a ton of stuff from IDW, though. This one, though, I really enjoyed the first issue, and that's what I was saying what Second Street Marvel said. This second issue, it was like all over the place. So they're still trying to find this, the El Peru Waka. Sorry if I said that really horrible, like my English accent for it. But they're still trying to find it. And that's what they were setting up in that first issue. And I felt as though the first issue was really well done. It was really laid out. We got to see our main characters. We kind of got to see that he's a rock star. He's a drug addict. Nobody likes him. And they think if we can find this, it'll save him. It'll give him the thoughts and it'll give him just whatever insight that he needs to create the next big hit for his band. And that's what they were setting up. We gotta get our team together. We gotta get some guides together, and we're going to make our way to the forest, and we're going to start searching. This one, it felt like there was just so much crap happening in it. Like right off the bat, we get this in the intro. This is kind of not a flashback, but this is, I guess, what's going on in the forest. And then it jumps straight to our rock star and one of his bandmates. I think it's his bandmate that absolutely hates him. They're on this little, little, I don't know what these boats are called, but they're on a big boat, and it's a lot of talking, a lot of dialogue, a whole lot of nothing going on. But then it just jumps. This is what I'm talking about. It jumps like straight to the hotel. So they're on the boat for like 2 pages, and then they're in the hotel for a couple pages, and then they're actually at the site in a couple more pages and talking about the next day. So there's like a lot of just every couple pages. They're in a whole new area with a whole new thing going on. So in the beginning, there was a lot of jumping around. And that was kind of throwing me off. I was like, all right, this is whatever. It's not as good as the first issue, but I'm riding it out. And then from there, it's just nothing is going on. We're halfway through, and, you know, our main character, he's a drug addict, so he's obviously doing drugs. A few more pages, still nothing is going on. This second issue, I'm not going to spoil the end, but this second issue is a whole hell of a lot of nothing, guys. Based on this, I don't know if I'm going to be continuing on with the third issue. I think if the third issue shows up on my shop, it's going to be one of those, all right, I'll grab it, it's here. But if it doesn't show up, I'm not going to make a big stink about it at all. I'm not going to be like, all right, they didn't have it, that sucks, I need to figure out how to find it. I need to either buy it digitally or hit up another shop. But yeah, this one's a flop to me. So what I will say is, now that we've gone through the first couple of issues, these are the ones that I just really didn't like. Joseph L., the dude's girlfriend sleeping with the guy in the jungle who just had a needle in his arm. So, all right, let's here. Let me show you this for you guys. So, found a needle in his arm, literally just in the middle of the jungle. Look how sweaty and disgusting he is. He's on the ground. Now he's in the dirt ground, and this is an outhouse, just so you guys know. This is a freaking outhouse in the middle of the jungle. And this guy's girlfriend is just randomly like, yeah, I never said I wouldn't hook up with you. Like, yeah, that was a good call on your end, Joseph L. I actually thought the same exact thing. I was like, that, whatever. One of these series, the second issue, it just didn't do it for me. But here's what I was talking about with Dead Seas. This is actually a really good one, I think. He is a rock star. You are absolutely right. Cover B was the better one, in my opinion. If you guys didn't see it, cover B. This is cover A. I think cover B is much better as well. But this one's getting number 8. Yeah, JW. That's what I thought too. It was odd. Definitely an odd one. See, Second Street, even if they did have previous relations, it's not like people could know, because, you know, we're only 2 issues deep. We don't know the backstory on all of these characters. We don't know everything that they've done. I found that super unbelievable. It was just a cheap way to push a plot point, I think. That's the thing, is every single thing that happened in that second issue really had nothing to do with the plot itself. And then once they hit the very end of, you know, the issue, that's when they found where they were going. So it's one of those things. It's like they didn't do a single thing throughout the entire issue. They just made it to this site. They have to do their exploring. They have to find the place that they have to go. And then all of a sudden it's, all right, we're here. We found this infamous thing that nobody knows exists. It just was a big turnoff of an issue to me. John, hey brother, just joined your Patreon. Oh my God, dude, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Make sure you let me know if you have any questions with it. The Discord, make sure you sign up for that and you have the invite. I'm pretty new to Discord as well, so it's a little, I'm still a little shaky with hammering out all the things, like figuring it out. But I'm learning, just like, you know, the Streamlabs that I'm using. But man, I appreciate that a lot, though. Sounds like it might be a failed pitch or hopeful to TV Netflix pitch. A lot of low action dialogue heavy books are that way because people talking is relatively cheap to film. Action is expensive. I could definitely see that being some sort of just random television show. Like, I don't want to, like Peacock or something like that. I could see it maybe popping up. But seriously, if anybody is interested, I've got my links down below in the description for my Patreon. You get access to Discord, early access to videos, and for this next month, so March is going to be the first month I'm going to be doing a giveaway for, and it's going to be some sort of deluxe hardcover book, or it's going to be an omnibus. So stay tuned for that. But that's going to be the next month's giveaway. So the next book that I started watching your vids to find a starting point for getting it back into reading. I've gotten some great recommendations from you already. Thanks, man. Do a Powerbomb, Sarah Lone, Hate This Place. Hell yeah, man. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. I'm glad you're enjoying these books. That's the thing. There's a ton of comics out there, man. There's a lot of stuff to read. This next one. This one really kind of caught me off guard. I don't want to say I didn't like it, but at the same time, I oddly did kind of like it. K-Bar, no, you're good. We only got through 10, 9, and 8, which is kind of good because I didn't really like any of those issues. So now we're going to be getting into the stuff that I thoroughly enjoyed talking or reading. So this one, I didn't really think I was going to grab this at all. I was only going to get it if they had the Alex Ross cover, and they didn't have the Alex Ross cover, which sucked. I got the art germ instead. I panned through it, and I actually enjoyed the artwork. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. We're going to see how it goes. We got at number 7, Hallows Eve, issue number 1. This is a brand new series that's spinning out of the dark web stuff, the ASM series. I didn't know who Hallows Eve was. I'm not reading anything with ASM. So I thought, well, I'm not reading Gold Goblin for that same reason. I didn't want to jump into it because I'm not reading ASM. Dark Purple Gold Roses, what's going on, man? Love the content. Man, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Martin Simcox is in the house too. What's going on, man? So like I was saying, I really wasn't expecting to pick this one up. I didn't think it was going to be good. I didn't really like Gold Goblin the first issue, and because I didn't read Dark Web, or whatever the hell they called it, I think it was Dark Web, just the whole event, not reading ASM, I just assumed I was going to be lost in it, and I wasn't going to like it. I wasn't lost when I was reading it, because they kind of gave us a lowdown as to what happened at the end of the Dark Web stuff, which is probably another reason. Oh, I didn't even bring this up. No, we're going back to this one real quick. We're going back to Venom real quick. So this is one thing that I absolutely hate about Marvel. This like irks me to the absolute core. You have an event, I totally get it. You've got an event that's going to just span into ongoings with those characters, maybe other little tie-in series. I totally get that. Those things happen, and I think they did a phenomenal job when it happened with King in Black. They had all those King in Black tie-ins. But the focus was still on that character for that series, whether it was an ongoing, mini-series, whatever the hell it was. The focus was still that character, and now it's just, okay, say, for example, it's Miss Marvel, because I think there was a Miss Marvel for King in Black. Now she's trying to survive against all these symbiotes and try to whatever with Null. All right, that makes sense. She's in her own series. She's doing her thing now. Cool. This Venom series, I think it literally says right in the beginning, it's talking about everything that happened. Yeah, Dark Web finale. Oh, you got to read the Dark Web finale. And all this other crap that's going on is all spinning out of the Dark Web events as well. So I'm reading this ongoing series. You've got Dylan Brock, you've got Eddie Brock, you've got your own stories. Now, if you wanted to do a couple of issues that kind of tied in with the Dark Web stuff, I totally get that too. That makes a lot of sense. But the fact that you are now continuing on with that Dark Web storyline in this Venom series, you're really screwing over a lot of Venom fans that have been reading this series now since the beginning. And I think the Dark Web stuff started with, what, issue number 14, something around there? But you made it through this whole series, and now you're continuing on with it. I felt very lost in this one, because I don't know if any of this crap was happening within the Dark Web stuff, especially since they started off that way. And then they kind of ended on that same page as well. It was just such a disappointment to me. But I don't want to keep harping on Venom. We've talked about this series enough, and literally based on these comments, nobody seems to really like it as well. But with Hallows Eve, I will give this one props. It spans out of the Dark Web, it spans out of ASM, and they gave us a little recap in the very beginning. Not that beginning, right here. This is the little recap between both of these, and I think this right here does a really good job summing up who Janine Godby is, who Hallows Eve is, and then even if you don't know who Hallows Eve is based on any of this stuff, they kind of ease us into it a little bit, and it's like, okay, this isn't overwhelming, we're not jumping straight into this series, And I think, this one's written by Erica Schultz, and I think she did a good job starting this series off. But I think this beginning is very important to a new reader for Hallows Eve. Let's see. Hallows Eve showed up damaged at my LCS, so I haven't picked up a copy yet. Curious to hear what you think of it. Joshua Alvey, I will be honest. I'm not saying it was great. I'm putting it at number 7 this week, so it wasn't like some phenomenal read. But for someone who's not reading ASM or any of the dark web stuff, I felt as though this was a pretty solid first issue. Not great, not bad. I didn't like the ending. I'll put it that way. I didn't like the end, but I think leading up to that was good. I think her motive is good. I think everything that she did throughout the issue was good. But something that she did, I'm going to get into it, but I think something that she did that led to the ending kind of made me like, now I'm a little lost. But we've got, so if you don't know who Janine Godby is, I'm assuming that's how you say her last name. This is Ben Reilly's wife. Ben Reilly, that's everything that just happened with the clone conspiracy, everything with the Beyond Corporation, all the crap that's been going on in just the ASM series. That's what's happening now in this one. But like I said, didn't read Dark Web. It seems as though Ben Reilly is trapped in limbo. He's trapped in some prison. And now she's off doing her own thing. She's trying to not only save him, but get enough money together to create a life where they can just run away together, which is obviously what they should have done a little whiles ago, but everything happened with the Beyond Corporation. So Hallows Eve, I don't want to call her like some Halloween character, but she kind of is. She's got a costume, as you can tell from here, but she has this magical bag of masks. As you can take notice, she's got a mask on here, a couple masks here. But whatever this bag is that she has that you can see down in this corner, it's pretty much like an endless bag of masks. I'm not sure if it's exactly whatever she's thinking or whatever she wants, or she kind of reaches in and it gives her what she's thinking or wants. But everything that she's wanted, it was achieved in this one. So right off the bat, she's trying to break into a bank. She wants to get money together for whenever she saves Ben Reilly. They're going to run away, and she calls it a nest egg, so they need a nest egg. Let's get some of these first, though. Let's see. I'm like you, Alec. I don't read ASM Dark Web, but I actually enjoyed this issue, the artwork. That's the only reason I picked it up. The only reason I grabbed it was strictly because of the artwork. I was like, you know what? I feel as though I'm probably going to be a little bit lost in the story. The artwork's very appeasing, so we're going to go from there. Janine and Ben, A Better Love Story. Oh my god. Dude, K-Bar, I'm so tired of just Peter Parker going back and forth between MJ and Black Cat. It's like, I just don't care. And this is at least a love story, and they're trying to stay together. They're trying to run away and get away from everybody, but all this crap just keeps happening in between. I thought it was convenient that she just happens to have a mask on hand that covers every possible scenario, situation. That's kind of where I was. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what the deal is with this magical bag that she's got, but it was, like you said, very convenient. It's whatever she wanted, she was able to get out of this bag. So the first thing she needed, obviously, she's breaking into a bank. She's trying to go invisible, and that's exactly what happens. And like I said, the artwork's really good. This is great artwork, I think. But what I will say is this is where the issue kind of lost me just a little bit. She turns into a werewolf for I just don't understand why. I don't know why she wanted to be a werewolf. I don't know why she wanted that. It is what it is. In my opinion, she has the money. She could have just went invisible again, walked right past him, and the dude, it's not like he's going to shoot in this freaking safe. So I don't know about that, but either way, she got a werewolf mask, gives her strength, agility of the werewolf, obviously. ASM 20 issues of junk. That's exactly what it is. 20 issues of pure garbage. But that's what it is. She turns into a werewolf, and she makes a run out of this bank. But like I said, I guess he does shoot in there, but he's trying to fight for his life at this point. That was the only thing that lost me. Why don't you just put the damn invisibility mask back on and just walk right through the wall like you did the first time? Either way, that's when you learn that she is just trying to save Ben Reilly from limbo. Well, Chasm. That's the villain that he kind of turned into. There's so much crap going on with that character. So that's where I'm pretty lost with ASM. I know I read enough where he turned into Chasm or Chasm, however you say it, and I think he lost his memories, or he was trying to get his memories back from Peter Parker. But either way, a whole bunch of crap happened, and I'm just not up to date with it, to be quite honest with you. This really wasn't bad either, because she's still, she's mourning him. She's trying to get back to him. But so this is what kind of lost me too. So the security guard that she fought, she ended up, I guess, biting him or scratching him, and he turned into a werewolf as well. But I feel as though she wasn't technically a werewolf. She just had a mask that was imitating a werewolf. It says that the werewolf mask gives her the strength and agility of a werewolf. It didn't say anything that she turns into a werewolf. But either way, this guy did turn into a werewolf. But this is the other thing that I wasn't a big fan about the issue. The whole werewolf thing, I'll look past that. I don't care. They're bringing the Beyond Corporation back into it once again. Move on from this plot. Do a whole separate thing. Have a new villain. Have a new... whatever the hell you want to do. The Beyond Corporation, we're over it. I'm over it. That whole thing with ASM, it was god-awful and it was garbage. A lot of people feel the same way as me. If you did like it, I apologize. It's just not for me. But the fact of the matter is they are now back. I don't know who the hell this pink... I don't remember what this pink character's name is, but if you can recall her from the ASM series, she was kind of the leader of the Beyond Corporation. She was the one that was trying to get Ben Reilly back, make sure Janine wasn't going anywhere, and now we're dealing with that. It's almost as if it makes me not want to continue on with it because I didn't like any of that stuff with the Beyond Corporation. I didn't think it was good, but I wrote it out to the very end, and that's when I was like, I'm done. Let's see. JW, it's because of comics. John, I feel you. See, I'm so over this Beyond Corporation. It's just, I'm tired of it, man. The ASM Tombstone stuff was okay. The rest of it was just mystery box nonsense. Ain't that the truth, man? Ain't that the freaking truth? Yeah, totally agree. My issue is no matter how good the book is, editorial said where they want Pete and Ben to stay, so why read when I know it won't go where we want? See, I didn't know that. I don't keep up to date with anything with Spider-Man anymore, which is a damn... Oh, Maxine, that's what's her name. Mark, thank you for that. Maxine. They definitely said it somewhere earlier in the issue. I 100% skipped that page, though. This one? Yeah, somewhere around here. Oh, yeah, Maxine. Good call. But, yeah, I don't keep up to date with it, so it's kind of a shame to see that no matter how good it is, editorial said they want Pete and Ben to stay, so kind of a shame. But now it looks like we've got, I don't know if this is where the next issue is going to be going, but kind of just Hallows Eve versus a werewolf. I don't know. I am going to read one more issue, mainly because this one was better than I thought it was going to be. Like I said, not great, not bad, but I honestly thought Cosmic Ghost Rider was going to be a lot better, and it turns out Hallows Eve was much better than that one. That one was rough. But that is why this one is getting number 7. And it doesn't help that the cover is awesome. It's such a nice cover. Let's see. So the next one I'm going to be talking about today, this is cover B. It's a brand new AWA series. We've got Red Zone. This is issue 1, obviously. I love AWA. You guys already know that. This isn't exactly my style of a comic. I really like my crime books. I like detective mystery type books. This one's more along the lines of just kind of like a spy series. There is a mystery behind the main character so far. It was good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not exactly my thing. Badass cover. Oh, it was. So this one starts off, if you've read AWA, you're going to know right off the bat, this is, so it says, illustrated by Mike Deodato Jr., this is written by Cullen Bunn. That's the thing, I really like Cullen Bunn. Mike Deodato Jr.'s artwork is fantastic as well. And once you open up this right away, you're going to see that this is how a lot of Mike Deodato Jr. stuff is on AWA. Not all robots, Bad Mother, I think... Yes Man or Four Men or something like that. There was another one that took place in Pennsylvania about a couple different murders. This is the style of all those comics. I think Absolution was the same way as well. And this one is just like that. The artwork is top notch. It's fantastic. I love how the pages flow with each other. The only thing that kind of sucks was, and I know this is just me nitpicking, but hey, I'm ranking and reviewing these books. I'm putting it in a top 10 list. I got a nitpick. One thing that does bother me is in some comics, it just expands across the entire book. This one, there are some pages where it looks like it would span across all the books, like right here. It kind of looks like it flows, and they don't. So some pages, they have that feel that I should be reading across, and other times I don't. But that's just super, super nitpicking on my end. I love AWA, but this is a really weird read. That's why I was saying, I enjoyed it. It's not bad by any means. It's just not my style of a comic with just the whole spy espionage type stuff. I tend to read a couple issues, and I'm not saying I get bored, but I've read a lot of stuff like it, and it's just something about it really needs to stand out amongst the other ones for me to really continue. Martin Simcox, why has Marvel gone down the toilet? Only reading Daredevil, Miracle Man. Did try Captain Britain. I didn't even want to read Captain Britain. I already knew that was going to be a bad one. Already knew it was going to be bad. So let's see. The pacing of the first issue was odd. For this one, this one, well, this one's only, is it going to be a 4 or 5? I don't know off the top of my head if this is going to be a 4 or 5 issue miniseries. I believe it's going to be 4. I can look it up really quickly. Let's see. It's a 4-issue miniseries. So we've got a 4-issue miniseries coming up on this one. Let's see. Something's Killing Children does span across the pages thing too. It does get confusing. See, a lot of comics do it. There are a lot of comics that do it, Pajma. Oh, it's good seeing you in here too, by the way. I hope you're doing well. So Something's Killing Children does it all the time. A lot of Marvel does it as well. And I mean, like I said, that's just me being really nitpick on this, but there are a lot of panels in this comic based on how it's just kind of like choppy like this. It looks like it can span across. So I'm reading across and all of a sudden I'm like, actually that doesn't make sense. So I got to read down next and then read over. But that's, like I keep saying, just me nitpicking at it. Not a big deal. It's just not always clear. Just glad John thought the same thing. I feel like that's what James Bond would look like if you mixed all the Bonds together, and Robert De Niro. Maybe throw Gerard Butler in there too, maybe, or Russell Crowe. But the issue itself was very cool. So we've got our main character. He is a tad bit on the older side. He is a professor in America, and he does like Russian, I think Russian Slavic. That's what he teaches. And he gets called upon by the U.S. government. They say, hey, we know you've done some stuff in the past. We know that you know this person. And she specifically called out for you and wants you. And we need you for this top secret mission. And he's trying to play it off like, no, I don't, this is not me. I'm not going to do that, blah, blah, blah. And then that's post-Gladiator Russell Crowe. But they reach out to him, and it's as soon as they say, like, this person, this girl, she named you specifically, that's when he was like, I guess I'm going to do it. But like a few of the other people were commenting, they're saying, the pacing was really off with it. Like, the pacing was bad. Second Street said it. I felt the same way because we're getting into who this character... Street said it. I felt the same way because we're getting into who this character is right in the beginning. He's an American professor, teaches Russian, Slavic stuff. And then it's like, bam, right away. U.S. government needs you for this top secret mission. And then it jumps straight into them on the way to Russia. Like, there was a lot going on in this first issue. We don't know backgrounds on anybody. We don't really know who any of these characters are. There's not a lot of stuff that was really developed. And I know it's a first issue. They like to leave things kind of up in the air. They like to jump into stuff. That's how AWA does it. You really need to get a feel for their series. Are they going to be a very kind of plot-driven, dialogue-heavy first issue, or is it going to be straight action and leaves us on a cliffhanger? And I think this one kind of had a little bit of mix of both. Super fast-paced, didn't really develop anything, and we got an insane amount of action towards the very end. Ideal City Comics, what's going on, buddy? Thank you for tuning in, man. But that's kind of how I felt about this one. They really just jumped right into everything, and we didn't get a lot of info. But the cool thing is like I said, AWA is always really good about leaving us on a cliffhanger that like makes us want the next issue right away. And despite me kind of having some complaints, like small things here and there about this first issue, that's exactly what happened in this one. We got left on this cliffhanger. Our main character, he's obviously done stuff in the past, but we don't know what he's done, and you get to see him really be a badass at the very end of this issue, and it's like, okay, so I hope they're going to maybe the second issue, because he is with somebody that doesn't really know him all that well, so I'm hoping the second issue is kind of a background story on our main character, kind of him giving her the lowdown, like, all right, this is how I know your mom, this is all the stuff that we've been through together, this is a lot of the stuff that we've done, and I think that would be a really good second issue. Because there's not really a huge plot that's being built on in this first one. It's like, all right, we're in Russia, we need to extract this girl, and we need to make it back to the States. Super simple concept, super simple plot. They don't really need to do much with it. So they basically rush through this first issue then. Second issue, straight up background story. Let us know exactly who this character is. Third one, into like the middle of Russia, tons of action, tons of crazy shit going on. And then the fourth one, wrap it all up, bring the characters home. I've got faith in it. I always have faith in AWA Upshot, and I think that's a very easy way and a great way to just kind of expand on this series. So let's see. Gillian Anderson in there as well. AWA books are always pretty solid, or at least interesting. See, that's why I feel AWA is definitely one of the best comic book publishers, in my opinion. Can't really go wrong with them, and they really never let me down. But for all of that, unless if you guys got something to chime in on with that one, I think this is a pretty good pick for number 6. Kind of a little bit middle of a pack. Pretty solid issue. Not too bad, not too good either. So that's why this one is getting good old number 6. Number 6, that one's cover A. If you can see that one, easy, that's cover A. I've got cover B right here. Ooh, but now we're down to the top 5, and we're starting to get into some of the heat, folks. Let's go, chat. We're getting into it on this one. We've got Dark Horse's Where Monsters Lie. This is issue number 2, cover A. This is an awesome series. I highly, highly recommend checking this one out. The guy in my LCS called it Awa. I didn't have the heart to correct him. Oh, man. To be honest, I'm surprised my dumbass didn't call it Awa at some point, because I literally say, like, every wrong name. But, guys, don't sleep on this one from Dark Horse. This one is really good. So, a little bit of background story on this one. It's written by Kyle Starks. I'm not even going to attempt that first name. Piotr, probably Peter in whatever, wherever he's from. Kowalski. So we've got all of our serial killers, and they are living in kind of a gated community. I don't know if it's their off season. It's not their time of the month to go out and kill a bunch of people to hit their quota. But this is where they all live when they're not out killing somebody. And that's exactly what this series is so far. The first one left us on a little bit bigger of a cliffhanger, where there's just a bunch of crazy shit going on, and they were gearing up for this big kind of battle between the serial killers and the cops. This one did not let me down, because I remember reviewing that first issue, and I was like, yeah, all the cops are at the gated community, so something crazy is about to go down in this second issue. It's going to be wild. It really was, but at the same time, this main detective right here, we got a background story on him. So not only did we get an insane amount of action that gives us pretty much what happened in the last issue, we still learned a lot more about this character and his motives and why he's so hell-bent on going to this gated community to find these serial killers. Comic Chef, what's up, AR? Do you get any of the ratios or incentives for any of the comic books that come out? What's going on, Comic Chef? I hope you're doing well today, buddy, and thank you for tuning in. I don't. I tend to not buy the incentive covers. I pretty much only go for cover A, at least if I can. But I get what I can usually. But for me, I tend to not hang on to single issues too often. As you can tell, I've got, a ton of Omnis floating on in the background, lots of hardcovers. I've got another 2 shelves sitting over there with books. The one over here off to my left side, it's got like all video games on it and stuff. But usually once a series is wrapped up, I tend to get the hardcover version of it if they do have one. And if they don't, I just hang on to the series until. But believe it or not, my comic book collection, as far as single issues go, I have I think 6 short boxes, and that's it. I really don't have that many single issue comics. I tend to just move on from them. I give them away, or I sell them when I can. But that's pretty much it. So to answer that question, I usually don't get the incentive covers. I love the background flashbacks at the beginning. Born in Blood and We Love You were my top reads of the week. Who came out with and We Love You? I know Born of Blood, that was Merc. I actually saw Merc at my shop. I saw issue number 5, which is crazy because I don't think they got any of the other issues. So the fact that they randomly had a couple issues in number 5, it kind of blew me away. So like I was saying, picks up where the last one left off, except we get a background on our main character right here. I think his name is Connor or Connors. But this is it. So 20 years ago, he was at one of the mass murder site, and he witnessed a couple of the killers. And then 15 years ago, so a couple of years later, he dealt with another serial killer that tried killing him as well. So he oddly dealt with a lot of killers over the years. I know this is all about comics, but do you read manga as well? Ooh, William, I do. So when I just said before, I've got 2 more shelves over there full of books. It's all manga. I've got Pokemon, One Punch Man, like 4 or 5 box sets, Berserk, let's see, a few other ones up there. My manga collection's not as big as my comics, but I'm a really big fan of manga as well. Oh, it's a Scout one. Gotcha. 6 short boxes. I have freaking 51 long boxes of comics. Yeesh. That's what I'm saying, man. I prefer... So I don't really have a lot of attachment to some of these books. Unless if it's something that I truly loved or just, somebody bought it for me. Then I usually don't get rid of anything. But comics, I really don't. I only have 1 short box of keys. And I tend to sell them as time goes on as well. Unless if I have a couple keys that, I hold dear to my heart because it was like the first big book I've ever picked up, or it was just like a place I was that I know I'm probably never going to be again, so it reminds me of there. That's what I like to hang on to, but just a random, key issue, doesn't really do it for me. Bro, give us the room tour. Spitzkoff, maybe I will do a room tour. I'm telling you, this room is really not that big at all. It's awesome. I'm still trying to set it up correctly. If you could see my setup right now, like how I'm sitting, I've got like lights around me. I've got this freaking overhead thing right here. I've got another overhead over there. That's like, I'm surrounded by just stuff right now. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to just set everything up, and I will definitely do a room tour at some point for you guys. People have been talking about it for a while, but I knew when I lived in Oklahoma, I was moving, so I didn't have all of my collection with me. And I wasn't buying a lot of stuff, so I wasn't really, I wasn't going to show you something that I was going to be moving away from in like a year. But now I'm still kind of working on getting it all situated, even though I've been here for a little over a year now. And I'm getting there. Let's see. Any Demon Slayer? JW Storytelling, I've got the Demon Slayer box set. Oh my god. Demon Slayer was awesome. I'm not watching the anime though. I should probably watch it, but it's the same thing I was talking about with comics before. I really like to watch it all at once, read it all at once type of stuff. Chat demands a room tour. Chat will get a room tour. I can promise you that. Chat will get a room tour. I don't know. It probably won't be live. I'll probably just kind of film myself being all like awkward vlogger, blogger, whatever the hell it is, but I'll do one eventually for you guys. Comics Elite guys were super rough on Where Monsters Lie, so I didn't check out number 1. Really like the 6 sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. 6 sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. I didn't read that one. I didn't know that was by Kyle Starks. I ended up missing out on that series. Comics Elite guys, a lot of people in the chat, they say they're very negative on a lot of books, and I'm not saying I'm not. I tend to be critical. I tend to give you my honest opinion, what I didn't like, what I did like. But I try to not just completely dog on something unless if it's Venom, because that series sucks. That's still just my opinion though. But this first issue I thought was really cool. I thought it was a really unique concept. And the second issue, it was really good too. Let's see. Be careful, AR, what you ask for. Be careful, AR. First they ask for a room tour. Next thing you know, you're starting an OnlyFans. That could be coming too, guys. Be careful what you ask for. Taha, I'm not going to be doing videos on mangas, and here's why. I had 2 shorts on mangas. That's it. I've done no content on manga. No long videos. I only did 2 shorts. And they both hit me on a copyright strike. So I got 2 copyright strikes from 2 short videos. And all it was me showing the book and 2 pages on the interior. They wouldn't remove it. They wouldn't respond to emails. So To answer your question, I will never be doing manga again. I am not taking that risk. There was nothing there. It was like, I think both shorts were only under 10 seconds. Kyle Starks is writing a new Peacekeeper book. Then it's explicit comic reviews, live streams on Kick. Oh my God. All right. All right. So we're going to be moving. All right. So, the first stream is going to be 5 o'clock on YouTube. The late night stream is going to be headed over to Kick. And that's going to be the explicit comic book reviews. All right. Let's get back to the second issue because we still got some bangers to talk about, guys. I'm not really into the Comics Elite Guys reviews videos, but Dolan writes Born of Blood, and he's good there. I'm going to have to check out their videos. I don't really have a lot of I don't really have anything negative or positive to say about them. I know they exist. I know they make cool covers. But based on chat, like I said, there's a lot of negative comments about them. So I'm gonna watch them and get my own personal opinions before I can continue on with it. Yeah, manga's dangerous to cover these days. That's absurd. It's free advertising for them. Doesn't make sense. I was even talking about how much I liked it. I didn't say anything negative. It was just like, oh yeah, it was on Demon Slayer too. It was like, oh yeah, Demon Slayer, this is so cool. And it's like, look at this action. And it's like, check it out. And that was it. And I got hit with one copyright strike. And then shortly after, I got hit with the other one from them. 0 for 2. It's what it is. I have no idea. Is that a bookmark? That's how the videos are going to start, Ryan. Is that a bookmark, or are you just happy to see us? Manga's wild. I think it's hard to go in with an understanding of what to expect. I just can't bring myself. I love it. It's really good stuff. As crazy as it sounds, pick the popular. If you are interested in getting into it, pick the popular stuff. Grab the popular manga and just go from there. Because usually the popular stuff really is that popular. Like Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, all the shit that you hear people constantly yammering about, it's been all good to me, in my opinion. They really do. All right, so with this one, that's pretty much what it was. We got a nice little backstory on this main character. He's clearly gone through some shit when he was younger. He's dealt with 2 different types of serial killers. So now when this was the kid from the very first issue that made it out of the gated community and was like, yo, I dealt with all these serial killers, and he's like, it's going to be the craziest thing ever. They were all living together in a gated community. This dude's ears started perking up, and he's like, show me. Brought this kid here, and that's when all hell is literally breaking loose. The cops are here. I'm not going to be getting into everything, but man, so much, I keep saying so much action, but there really is a lot of action, a lot of just stuff going on in this second issue. Totally worth it, in my opinion. Hot Mustard Gas. Berserk is one of my favorites. Berserk, I have up to volume 8, but I've only read volume 7. I did not read Jujutsu Kaisen, although I do have the first volume. I don't mind reading it backwards. It's funny, I read so much manga at one point that I started reading comic books, and I was like, left to right? This is so stupid. What about my right to left? But Spitzkoff, I did really like Demon Slayer. Oh yeah, the puppet. The puppet was just as crazy, man. The puppet's not just like this little thing. Here. Let's see if we can get that up. It was somewhere. I don't want to spoil everything for you guys. So this one, yeah, Berserk. If any of you are ever interested in manga, Berserk, that's like my number one. That is like hands down one of the best things that I've ever read so far. Yeah, I can't read left or right. I'm still trying to learn, guys. But that is why this one is... Where are we at? Here we go. This is Where Monsters Lie. Yeah, Where Monsters Lie is coming in at 5. Actually, that's not Where Monsters Lie. Oh, yeah, it is. Actually, this isn't cover A, now that I think about it. Or that's Where Monsters Lie, issue number 1. Either way, coming in at number 5. Let's see. 20th Century Boys is a great read. Oh, I've heard so many good things about 20th Century Boys. I've heard really good things and I've heard really bad things. I've been reading it for 20 years now, and the release schedule has been crazy, frustrating. Berserk. I mean, man, I didn't even realize it's been around that long. I mean, I knew it's been around for a hot minute, but it's a real shame that he passed away and not really going to get the best ending that a lot of fans are probably looking for, but still. Next evolution is going to be from top to bottom. Well, they kind of are evolving with it a little bit, where they have it all just kind of spanning across the screen, like a true left to right instead of just like bottom and over. My son is getting me to read Berserk. Hell, read something I like. Hell yeah. I can do both, since I would both manga and comics grown. That's cool. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm extremely new to manga, like extremely new. But with that being said, Radiant Black is coming in at number 4 this week. My daughter reads Mob Psycho manga, says it's awesome. I might have to check that one out too. I have been extraordinarily back and forth on this series, like 100%, just very back and forth. We got Radiant Black issue number 22. This is cover A. This issue, this is something I'd put into the category of a slower, a little bit more boring issue of Radiant Black. But at the same time, while it didn't really have anything to do with the main Radiant Black storyline, it was fantastic. This was hands down my number 1 read until I started reading some of the other ones. But for the longest time, I had this one in at the number 1 spot, and then I kind of read a few in a row where I was like, ooh, these are all way better. But for the time being, this was my number 1 read for a little while. Did you guys enjoy Chainsaw Man? I didn't watch the anime, and I've read up to volume 7. I'm missing volume 8, but I have 9, 10, and 11. So with this one follows Nathan. Nathan is one of our main characters. He's the one that died in the very beginning of the series, got brought back to life, and now he's sharing the Radiant Black with his best friend. This one, he's flying out to California, and that's pretty much what the entire issue is. So there's a lot of, not backstory on Nathan, but it's kind of the writer filling us in on this character, because if you remember from the beginning of the series, he's dealt with a lot. He's trying to be a very successful writer. He's kind of failed at that over the years. People don't really give him the time of day, I guess. His girlfriend broke up with him. He got a lot of shit from his old roommate. His parents don't exactly agree with him trying to become a famous writer or just a big name writer. So he's got a big uphill battle with just his own passions. And this issue, you kind of get to see him deal with all of that stuff. He flies out to California, and he meets up with some of his friends, and he's supposed to be getting this meeting for one of his books, or one of his shorts that he's creating. They're trying to adapt it into something. Yeah, bro, I think he submitted... Oh, wow, my goodness, that was so long ago. But that's what this one is. He's... I don't remember what his... Oh, Marshall. Marshall is his best friend's name. And Marshall's still back in the garage with the Radiant Yellow character. They're trying to figure out what's going on with that robot head. So it's kind of cool to see them kind of shift to Nathan's side of the story. He's trying to get his writing career taken off. But that's when everything just goes downhill once again for him. He runs into some of his friends. He's really excited about it. But then they're like, hey, also, by the way, you need to come to this happy hour tonight. You need to come out with, and then they mention the name. I think it's Braden. It's Braden, and Braden is his old roommate, and his old roommate is now dating Nathan's ex as well. So obviously, right off the bat, he's just kind of sulking. He's not in a good mood. And that's what this whole issue is. It's him dealing with his old roommate, Braden, and just kind of how scummy he is. He's dealing with his ex, and he's just kind of forced to be in this situation. And they did such a good job just kind of, as I think the writer, who's it, Kyle Higgins still? Yeah, Kyle Higgins is still in this one. And he's really doing a good job just expressing just how Nathan is as a person, how he feels about a lot of things. And as you flip through it, you learn a little bit more about everyone's intentions as to why Nathan is here. They want to use Nathan once again to Braden wants part of Nathan's just work that he's the story that he's working on. I've been collecting these issues of Radiant Black since 13. Still need to read the second trade before I read my singles. I'm super back and forth on it all the time. It's good. It's not good. And I don't know. It's one of those things. I think a lot of the series has been extremely slow, but I also think they've done a really good job with it. We get a little bit of action, really not that much at all, because another reason that he's out here in California is he's dealing with Shift. And Shift was the green character that kind of feeds off of all of the energy. So there was a little bit of plot progression in this one, but for the most part, the best part of this story was just Nathan dealing with his problems from the past with Elizabeth, which was his ex-girlfriend, and then Braden, his old roommate. So I don't want to spoil the rest of it for you because that was really good. This one's going to be really exciting. It's a new series coming out called No One, written by Higgins as well. 10-issue series it looks like, and it's going to be part of the Massive Verse as well. Let's see. Really enjoying Radiant Black and Rogue Sun. The problem is I'm not reading Rogue Sun. I really wish I was reading Rogue Sun, but I'm just sadly not. Let's see. Radiant Black is another book that reads better in chunks. 100%. I talk about that on my top 10 list constantly. This is so much better in a trade paperback. Wait for a big hardcover to come out. That's when you should pick this one up. But this one definitely coming in at number 4 this week. Pretty solid read. I really enjoyed it. Not bad by any means. 10 books in the Massive Verse now. Jesus, is there really that many in the Massive Verse? That is ridiculous. That's just so much, man. All right, folks, we are coming down to the wire. We've got our top 3 on the way, and these books were great. I'm a big fan of these books. Next up, F This Place is officially back. This is issue number 6. I really enjoyed this series. This one's written by Kyle Starks, and I'm pretty positive we were just talking about him. We were just talking about him with Where Monsters Lie. Yeah, not all ongoings. It is what it is, but no, I feel you on that. They're really adding a lot of stuff into the Massive Verse. But this one coming in at number 3. This is the Skybound Image. We've got F This Place. I think this is a lot of fun. It's a nice little ghost story. KO, what's going on, buddy? Hope you're doing well tonight. Thank you for popping in. It's a nice little ghost story. This is a great kind of intro into this next arc. And to be honest, I'm not going to say this is a great jumping on point, but I think you could pop in and I think you could grab this one and have a good understanding of what's going on. The whole thing is we've got these 2 main characters right here on the front. These are the 3 that get introduced in this newest issue. But this character, I think she receives this farm from one of her relatives that passed away. And her and her girlfriend moved to the farm. They went out to the middle of nowhere. And they find out that the farm is haunted. All this crazy stuff goes on at night. You can't go into the woods at all during the day, during the night, whatever. You can't really leave the farm either. Once you're kind of there and you experience everything, you're kind of solidified there. You can't leave. Or else, I guess the hauntings follow you wherever you go. So they just kind of remain at this farm now. People come, they drop stuff off, they help them out, like a farmhand type stuff. But either way, that's pretty much what happens in the first arc. A lot of other crazy stuff happens, and you don't really learn a lot of other stuff that happened on the farm itself. Interesting. I skipped F This Place. You think it's worth the trade weight? I wouldn't be surprised if you could get the first 5 issues in the back issue bin for a couple bucks. I think if you could probably spend around, $3, $2-3 per issue, worth it at this point. If not, definitely just wait for a trade paperback. But I do recommend reading it. I think it's really good. And I don't have it sitting over here, but make sure when you do get this, it comes with a sticker. They had a sticker in the middle of the book, and all of the copies had it. Not the explicit variant, not just the explicit variant, but all of them did. Man, everyone's skipping out on this one. I thought this one was so cool. The only thing I will say is the artwork. The artwork reminds me of Basket Full of Heads. I don't know if it's the same artist. I don't think it is, but it really reminds me of it. And the other thing that blows my mind is like every character is just enormous. Like this dude is jacked right here. On the front here, both these girls are enormous as well. And moving into it, there's a lot of action and a lot of other stuff happening in it. Hold on. Lost my train of thought here. Yeah, just like look how I got caught up like looking at this artwork once again. Like these it's like every single character in this series is just enormous. The women are freaking huge. Look at this chick's legs. The legs and the arms on this girl are just, she gonna put me in a headlock and I'm never gonna wake up again from it, you know. But man, yeah, definitely check this series out, folks. And if you guys, I actually did have this sticker here. This is what it looks like. If you guys can, if that pops up for you guys, it's a little, there we go. I tried to get that in the view for you. But that comes with all of the books, so make sure when you grab it from your LCS, snag it. But this one was really cool to me. So solid. I'm telling you, man, these farm ladies, although they were pretty big before they got to the farm, we get a backstory on, her name is Gertie, and we get a backstory on this character. And I thought that was really unique going forward into this series, and that's why I was saying, if you were able to get your hands on this 6th issue and just this 6th issue, it might be a solid jump on point, because the hauntings of the house are, I don't want to say they're in the past, but it's not as big of a deal as it was in the first arc, mainly because they kind of understand what's going on, just don't leave the house, they can't get into the house. But here's the kicker. So, like I said, this character, Gertie, this is her dad. And now we finally get the backstory on Gertie, why she left her dad, why she doesn't talk to him. And it's because he's like some cult leader. He's part of some religious cult. And he does a lot of crazy shit at this church or this asylum, whatever he runs. And it basically says, like, you know, he says, I was in prison. It basically is just a prison. Can't let anybody leave. And she ran away. And now him and I guess his couple lackeys, they found Gertie and her girlfriend or wife, whatever they are now. And that's where this series, that's where this arc is going to be going. Very fun read. Little bit of action. Not a whole hell of a lot. But because he's super religious, that's where they kind of think like, holy crap, all of these like ghosts, this is just a sign. It's a miracle. So I'm really pumped to see where they go with it. I hope you guys enjoy it too, who have read it. But that one, we've got it coming in at number 3 this week, folks. But we're down to the top 2. Originally, all right, Mr. Negative said, I love this issue. That's awesome. Yeah, KO, definitely check it out. Now, this one's going to be awesome. At first, I had a really hard time picking between number 1 and number 2. And I'm kind of really surprised at the one that I picked for number 2, or for number 1. But we've got coming in at number 2. This is Image's brand new one, Phantom Road, written by Jeff Lemire. This is cover A. This one was very Jeff Lemire. If you've read Jeff Lemire before, you kind of know his writing style by this point. He leaves a lot of things up in the air. His first few issues kind of a mystery, and then he jumps straight into everything. And that's exactly how this one was. Right off the bat, we get introduced to our main character. They do tell us his name, but I don't recall it off the top of my head. We'll get to it shortly. But he's a truck driver. And, you know, truck drivers, we've seen a couple series like this now. I know Hotel, I think they had a truck driver in there, and I recall reading another one where he's on the open road, and it's kind of a ghost story, so I'm hoping it's not super similar to that. But I thought this one was off to a great start, and I'm trying to put my bias aside because it is Jeff Lemire. But you can see, right, so he's on the road, and he sees a vision of himself a little bit deeper in. He sees the same vision, but it's his kid this time. So he misses his kid. You learn some other things about him that, you know, he's on the road a lot. I don't know any truck drivers in my life, but I can't imagine they have, I guess, the best home life if you've got kids, because, I mean, you are on the road a ton of times. Joseph L., I got deja vu reading this. Maybe I read a couple pages in the previews a few months back or something. Noctera. Oh, Noctera, yeah, Noctera is definitely the one that I was thinking of. Love the little interaction with the waitress. Oh, that's a good thing to hit on as well, because I felt as though that this was a super kind of like relatable thing. So, you know, here we go. On a long one, another day and a half up North Dakota, but then I get 3 days off. 3 more hours off at 6. We'll get there. It's just two people not really enjoying their jobs, but they got to do it for the money, and they're just trying to make it through the day. I thought that was super relatable. But then that's when you get, other than that, you see right in the beginning that he's not exactly loving his job. He's not really loving his life. He's just kind of getting through his day. That's when they bring up his kid. Jeff Lemire's name on a book makes it a must-read for me. Every single time. Mark McGrath, absolutely. He's one of the best writers in my opinion. I love all of his stuff. You get a small little tidbit of interaction between his wife, his kid, himself. She clearly hates that he is a trucker. His kid's not too happy about it either. He's just more disappointed, upset, one of those scenarios. But he's trying to do his best for his family. At least that's what it seems. Although the comments that she makes doesn't make it seem as though he's the best husband either. But that's when things start to go awry in this one. Runs into some monster. It's a flipped over car in the middle of the road, middle of the night while he's driving. He sees that. That's what this monster is right here. Don't talk to me in the bathroom, bro. Great. Yeah, I thought that was funny too, right in the beginning. But I thought the real thing about this because I've done a couple cross country road trips now, and these road trips, like these truck stops like this first guy, he's just this skinny dude out on the outside, and he's trying to sell drugs. And why is he trying to sell these types of drugs? Because he's a truck driver, and a lot of them take drugs to stay awake. And then moving on, we've got this guy who's reaching out to him in the bathroom. I mean, hey, you never know maybe he does want something in the bathroom like that. So I felt as though this is kind of a little bit more on the realistic side of things. Sorry, I was trying to check out the comments real quick. Nice coloring though. Coloring is great. This is the page I think I'd reread before. You probably did see a preview somewhere. But then when he touches that's when, the Jeff Lemire kicks in for this series. Everything goes crazy, and I'm probably going to stop it on this page so you can read it all for yourselves. I don't want to spoil really the rest of the book for you guys. But touching that sends him into this other world, sends him into something, and you first see that monster right there. It's the same kind of monsters that are on this front page. At first I thought it was kind of aliens. Maybe they're ghosts, they're monsters or something. But they're vicious. They're not just these wandering beings. They're going to attack. They're going to fight. Gear up, guys. This is going to be a really fun series, in my opinion. I'm really excited for this one. Nobody writes a sad dad like Lemire. Man, that hits it pretty hard. I mean, I was thinking about it. Sad dad. So you got Phantom Road. I guess you can kind of also have a sad dad moment in Little Monsters right now because the head vampire's gone and everybody's looking for him. Sweet Tooth was pretty much the same exact way with the sad dad for a hot minute there. So there's kind of a lot of disappointment in Jeff Lemire's writing. I think even Gideon Falls had a sad dad as well. I think the dad was just looked down on. The kids thought he was crazy. So that's a really good observation. But seriously, Phantom Road, really good first issue. Highly recommend it. Kind of surprised I didn't make it my number one, but this next one, you'll know why. If you read this next one, you're going to know why it got number one. Let's see. This looks good. Going to check it out. WrestleMania, definitely check it out. It was a fun one. Added it to my pull list immediately. Great book. Hell yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it too. Midtown has I Hate This Place Volume 1 for $11.24. I'll pick it up. I think that's a good price. I was literally saying, I think if you could get each issue for $2 or $3, that'll make it really worth it. So, I mean, 5 issues, was that a little over $2, $2.20-ish, $2.50 per book? Hell of a pickup in my opinion. But like I said, coming in at number 2, Phantom Road, issue 1. All right, here we go, everyone. Top read of the week. Oh, this one was a surprise. I was really looking forward to it. I didn't think my shop was going to have it, and I'm really happy to see that they did. All right, chat, what do you guys think it is? Any guesses on what you think that the number 1 book is going to be? Let me know. All right, here we go. We've got, coming in at number 1, we've got Sumerian Comics. Rock and Roll Hell, issue number 1. I couldn't believe it. This one was so awesome. My Little Ponies, number 1. No. Christopher Parker, I'd rather watch this in a standard video format, just saying. Yeah, that is something I want feedback on. This is the first time I've done it in a stream form. I thought it would be really fun. just to, you know, get everybody's input on these books as well. It's more of, you know, a personable thing. I'm able to communicate these a lot better with you guys. Get your opinions on it as well. We can talk about some other things too. I totally get having it. I definitely like this better than the regular videos too. Oh, wait, no. No, Hugh, he said I would rather watch this in a standard video format. But that's why I did it this way. I thought it would be a lot of fun. If, you know, if the consensus is do it in a regular format, I'll stick to that. If the chat seems to really like the stream version, we'll go that way as well. All good. No, seriously, Christopher Parker, dude, feedback always appreciated. It's just kind of with my schedule, with the way everything's going on, streaming is kind of an easier thing for me to do right now. I don't really have an absurd amount of time to get editing in for some of those videos. But seriously, I always open to if the chat wants a long video, we can definitely do that. Cool. We can definitely do that too. But this one, so we got Rock and Roll Hell issue number 1. This is a complete story, folks. This is a one and done, although based on the ending, let's see, I don't want to spoil too much. Based on the ending, it says the end ? So maybe, oh, bro, it's always all love. It's always all love. This is a great, this is always great stuff. But this one, so it might be coming back. It might be, was that one from Image Comics? It was, they did a Halloween special, a 420 special, and then they just recently did one for Christmas as well. I don't know that one off the top of my head, but it might be something similar to that. John, thank you so much, buddy. I like this so much better. Nice to talk to you on each issue. That means a lot to me for the donation, man. I appreciate that. This makes sense. Editing is too much work if you have other jobs. And that's what it is, Fizbin. I work on my LCS, so I work for them part-time, and then I also do some other work as well. I make content for a comic book publisher. So between all of that and, you know, family, it is a lot. But this is it's just so much more fun to do this stuff with you guys, like on just kind of on a daily basis as of late. I did Tuesday, Thursday, and I'm also going to be doing tomorrow as well. And Joseph L., thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Here's what I'll do, guys. I'll put like a community board chat out. I'll put a vote to it, and whatever you guys end up voting for, I'll probably go back to I'll pick whatever one you guys like. So Rock and Roll Hell, the cover of this looks like the Metal Apocalypse animated series. I've actually never heard of that. Oh man, it seems as though, all right, it seems as though a lot of people do like the stream. That's so awesome, guys. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this too. I'm still learning, you know, the Streamlabs I'm using, how to get everything situated properly. But the game plan is to also turn these into videos as well. Kind of like a little recap if someone can't hop in. So stay tuned for that. There's definitely going to be more content on the way based on some of these streams too. So Rock and Roll Hell, ordered this, can't wait. I like the funny size on Sumerian books too. This one actually is, so Russell, I thought the same thing. This one's actually a regular size comic though. If you can tell from there. So this is a regular size comic. It's not like a lot of the other ones were. There we go. Because I agree, a lot of Sumerian comics, they do have like these kind of small ones, but this one is normal size. So, all right. So to get into this one just a little bit, it's Rock and Roll Hell. We've got our main cast, like our main band right here. They're in Finland for this. Oh my God. Yo, this is a really funny book. This is a really funny book in my opinion. Oh my God, I don't even know where to begin with this. This issue was all over the place, and it was such a fun read. We've got Gabriel up in heaven, and he's like, all right, what's going on, guys? Well, I guess his name's Uriel. Maybe it's Gabriel and Uriel, who knows? But they're going after Jesus, and if you can look at it, Jesus' house is an absolute train wreck. There's a hole in the roof. There's something else on the roof. There's trash everywhere. And look at this right off the bat. Jesus is drunk. Jesus is angry, and he is just, that's our first, just the beginning of the book. Jesus is just drunk, angry person. And then we jump into Finland with our rock and roll band. And like I said, I'm not going to be going into this one too in-depth at all because you need to read this one for yourself. As soon as I read this, I knew automatically this was going to be my #1 read of the week. At this like crazy metal concert, when I say like a metal concert, this is like Slayer, bands like that, not some softcore stuff, like the hardcore death screamo metal, just that type of shit. And Jesus is like, you know what? I hate my dad. I'm going to get back to I'm going to get back at my dad. Here's what we're going to do, guys. Here's what you, like the angels, gather up your crew. We're going down to earth for the second coming of Christ. And he's drunk and he's angry and he rounds up some angels to go down to earth. But when he heads to earth, this is where he goes. He goes to this rock metal concert. And Jesus and everybody is like, what the absolute hell is going on here? They've turned our backs on us. Everything is just gone awry down here on earth. And it turns into this massive war. And Jesus and all the angels start killing everybody that's at this rock concert. So for the band to save themselves and whoever's left, they summon Satan then. And they just have this like demon angel battle at this rock concert. The artwork is really cool. There was great storytelling. There was great action. They did a tremendous job on this issue. It is $6.99 cover A. So take that for what it is. It is a thicker issue. It's a gorgeous cardstock cover. If you can kind of see that right here, it's glossy. It's thicker. It feels really good in your hands. And I got my money's worth. I absolutely got my money's worth on this issue, and I really do recommend checking this one out. This one was a ton of fun. I don't even know if anyone in the chat ended up grabbing this issue, but no doubt in my mind after reading this one hands down was coming in at #1 for the week. This one was just too good to pass up. Let's check out some of these comments. Laugh my ass off. It's pretty hilarious. It's really great when a book can surprise you like that. Makes your whole week. See, I was really excited for this one when we were talking about it in the previews video on Tuesday. I was talking about it and I was like, this one I'm really looking forward to it. I really hope my shop gets it. And I said I'm a little thrown off because a lot of Sumerian books, they are that odd size that I believe, was it Mark was just talking about, or somebody was just talking about this one. I just saw the comment too, Joseph L. The streams do go live after. So if you do miss out on this or somebody misses out on it, you absolutely can watch it right after. But like I said, I'm going to be working on trying to record these as well and then edit them down to make just a more sensible video instead of spending like 2 hours watching a live stream. But yeah, definitely go check this one out, guys. It was a ton of fun. Joseph L., I hope you enjoy it. But that's a wrap on this week's top 10 list of books. This was a really fun week. Let me get this out of the way. This is a really fun week. We had a lot of really good stuff. Like I said, I mean, we went through all the books. Phantom Road, another one. If you didn't grab it, highly recommend checking that one out. I know KO just said that he ended up grabbing the trade paperback for F This Place. This is another really fun read. But let me know down below. Hit me up in the chat. Comment after the video's done. What books did you grab this week? Which ones you looking forward to? And if you guys didn't already know, every Wednesday I go on a live stream with the EXP. I got all their links down below in the description. Go check them out. It's called the Comics and Collectibles. We do a lot of fun stuff on that stream. It's kind of like a claim sale, auction type of show. They got a lot of good stuff. And we're always talking comics as well. And if any of you are interested in supporting the channel, hopping in the Discord, my Patreon's listed down below. This month is going to be the first month that I do a giveaway. It's going to most likely be, I said it in the beginning, either a deluxe hardcover or it's going to be an omnibus, so be on the lookout for that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me either on Instagram, comment section. My email, I think, is down below too. But thank you so much for everybody tuning in. I had a blast doing this with you guys. I had a lot of fun. And as always, I keep saying as always, let me know if you prefer the stream, you want to see me make some actual videos, but I just have so much fun doing this stuff with you guys. But thank you again, everybody. Stay safe. Tomorrow, I'm going to be going live again, 5 o'clock. This one's going to be a lot of fun. I usually cover the news and just everything going on in the community. I'm going to be doing something different, and I'm going to be ranking all of the Phase 4 stuff from Marvel. All of the movies, all the TV shows. We're going to be doing a tier list, and we're going to be ranking them. So I would love to just hear your opinions on it as well. Thank you again. Oh, and Russell, thank you for the donation. You really didn't have to do that, man. But thank you again, everybody that donated too. You really don't have to do that. It means a lot to me. I really do appreciate it. Helps out with the channel as well. But as always, any sort of questions, anything at all, any comments, concerns, just let me know. Reach out to me and we can talk about it. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. It's Phase 4. Definitely all over the place. But thanks again, guys. Stay safe. We will see you in the next one.